I'm going on the line real quick, Juice. What's up, everybody? Peace, peace. Let me know if everybody can hear me. Okay. You still ain't heard from She said that he was saying he get off a little late. Oh, so he hasn't gotten off work. Okay. Peace. What's up, everybody? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? I'm just going live for a minute. I just gotta, you know, I feel like I have to do more, be more interactive, be here live more, so we can keep distinguishing that these are scammers who keep following y'all, trying to inbox y'all, because it's not me. So I'm not inboxing nobody. Like, my work level load right now is like up here. So that's not me. That's not what I'm doing. Anybody that want a session with me, like if you really want to talk to me, directly to me, click on the link in my bio, right? And then go to where it says, book a one-on-one. That's all you gotta do. Just go to it, just book a one-on-one. That's the means. Don't inbox me asking me for a reading. Like, I get too many messages to reply to all of that. So, like, if y'all really trying to get on what I'm on, okay? If you really trying to get on what I'm on, then you just gotta go to my website. Everything I do is affiliated with my website. I'm not gonna DM nobody. I do not have time to be doing it. So it's not me. All right. So by now, most people who really trying to deal with me should know this by now. So, just being clear, I don't do that. But there's always new followers, so I'm always gonna restate it. I'm always gonna put the disclaimer. Maybe Instagram will verify me. I'm working on it. But if you notice, most people who speak on certain truths, especially spiritual truths and whatnot, they're not verified. It's a reason for that, So I'm not the only one. Everybody out here with a significant following that a lot of people is pulling to, they're doing this for. So I just need y'all to understand, I'm not going to DM you for no reading. If you want to work with me one-on-one, though, if you really want to do some spiritual work, like really, whether you're a beginner or whether you're advanced, just book a one-on-one with me. So you go to the page, when you click on it, when you purchase it, it's a booking calendar is going to come up and you book your time and we're going to do your time. So you're going to talk directly to me. I'm transitioning to do everything on Zoom. So we're going to record it. It's going to be sent to you, but you'll be dealing directly with me. Now another thing, y'all should not be just sending money to people that you don't even know if it's really who you talking to. So y'all, gotta be better at your discernment to not let these people scam y'all. All right, so that's why I titled this, I have no backup pages. I have no backup pages. Like, I get messages all the time. Is this you, Quentin? No, it's never me. Report the page, block the page. Maybe Instagram will get rid of those pages. Like I said, I'm working on it. I don't know. But, like, that's all I can really do. I can't do more than that. So I can't even see those pages. They're going to block me, of course. So I can't see those pages. So just report the pages, just block the pages. But that's pretty much all I can do. But I'm not gonna tell you to and I'm definitely not gonna tell you to cash up a name that's not me. You look at my bio, my name's in my bio. You feel me? Everything gonna have my name on it. Everything gonna be about me. You feel what I'm saying? So just be a little better discerned about it. Just be a little better discerned. Now, but yeah, so they working overtime. Like, they really working overtime. So y'all gotta just be better, because it's just a easy means of them scamming people, regardless of if it's me, if it's whoever it is. But a lot of my content is being shared, so they know a lot of people like, dang, she knows some shit. Let me just, so they just capitalizing off of it. It just is what it is. So we just gotta, do better. So now, enough of that. But everybody dealing with the class, or if you got the membership, is new info up there now. So I have the whole zodiac breakdown, and it's probably like 5 hours maybe, but it's every individualized sign, because we're going through every sign. We're going through all the planets, because all we're doing is taking our chart and we just analyzing our chart energetically, seeing how it's present in our life and understanding what we got to work to improve ourselves. You feel me? What we have to balance out, because we want to be self-masters. We want to govern ourselves. That's my aim with everything I deal with. Everything I deal with is so you can be empowered. It's no point for you to need to constantly seek out somebody else. You have to know how to tap into your own spirituality, tap into your own magic. So that's my lane. That's what I do. That's just how I approach things. So when it comes to the astrology, that's my delivery. You feel me? That's how I do it. That's my means and that's my way. So I do a lot of the skits. I get a lot of I mean, it's a lot of traction. You know, the algorithm, the astrology audience really love those skits. You know, but it's just a means of, just like I say, creating a bridge of conversation. You know, because at the end of the day, this still is marketing. It's still a means of everything we're doing on the internet is a means of, at this point in time, has to do with our business. So if your business not really on the internet, you're probably kind of behind on times. So it's all about maintaining a balance. You got to be able to be balanced. You can't be too pulled in either or direction, because we do have to establish our, you know, our needs. Unfortunately, we live in a society that really pushes us more towards just focusing on our survival and less on our spirituality. But, you know, we have to do what we have to do to maintain the balance. That's what comes with, that's the responsibility of having the knowledge of self. That's the responsibility of being spiritually aware. With great power comes great responsibility. So you're responsible for your life now. You're responsible for your healing now. You are responsible for everything that you have to do in needs of progression. So in essence, you know, you have to, you know, you got to take the reins of what it is that you want to do. And a lot of that comes through healing. A lot of that comes through, you know, just doing the shadow work. A lot of people ask for shadow work, you know, but it's different ways of interpreting it, like as far as the terminology that we use, depending on the culture or, you know, the means of how we're looking at it. But all you're doing is just getting in tune with your true self. Because there's so many parts of you that society has told you have to suppress, that society has told you that's not acceptable. So we didn't nurture those particular parts, and they turn into, you know, parts of us that we keep hidden. And because we keep these parts hidden, this is a part of us that we aren't utilizing, you know. And a lot of times it's funny because, you know, growing up, a big part of growing up, they tell you to put away a lot of your the childish things, a lot of the things of your imagination. And then when you reach spiritual, if you get to spiritual awakenings, taking your spiritual awareness to another level, you realize you got to go back and you got to really unlearn everything you learned to become an adult and get back to your inner child self. And you find yourself doing the things you were doing as a child, or at least trying to figure out what you were doing, because, you know, some people have to work a little bit harder because they have some, you know, harder childhood. So they're introduced to that responsibility sooner, and they don't know what it's like to be a child, like your Michael Jackson. That's your Michael Jackson syndrome. So we all have different paths to walk because we are all learning different lessons. We are all, you know, pretty much the creator in an experience as our individual selves. So I'm the creator. I'm the Most High as Rakia. You know, whoever you are the Most High, the creator as you. So you are experiencing, we are all co-creators. So we are all interacting, engaging with each other's creation. And the more that you learn, the more that you become aware, the more you take control over your creation. And it's not just you asleep forgetting that you're in a creation. That's the key. You know, realizing what it is. It's awakening. So becoming aware. You can't really escape it because we're here. We're here, right? So we're here for a reason. We're here for a purpose. So what you do is you just wake up. It's the self-realization of who and what you truly are. You know, I'm not just Rakia. The deepest, the truest part of me, my soul is infinite. You know, it's just experiencing right now as Rakia. I'm just doing what I'm doing right now as Rakia. Whatever I have to learn as Rakia is what I'm here to experience as Rakia. But, you know, that's how it goes. So, you know, when you really get into those ancient spiritual sciences, that's really all it's really about. That's really all it's really about. So, and I wanted to also to announce to the few people that's already secured their membership, you now should have access there is a lecture up there split in two parts: the introduction to the occult. Part two will be available next week, but part one is already there. It's like 5 hours long, so it's a lot for you to digest. And I've also provided a source for you so you can look into that actual resource or that actual book and kind of follow along and dig deeper into it. That's what you want to do. So, I got a Memphis accent. I'm from North Carolina, but I'm from like the country North Carolina now. I'm from that 252. So I'm not from like the Charlotte area. I'm from the country. That's why I had that heavy, that heavy accent. Yeah, I'm from shout out to Montreal's Hair. We went to the same high school, but he ended up leaving the high school that we both went to because he went on to another school that he graduated from. But he from my area. Shout out to Trez. But man, it's just it all is in what it is. We just here. We just all walking this journey, man. And if you have everybody with an energy report, if you purchase your energy report, you didn't receive it, right? Check your spam. Make sure you don't have an email in there from me that has your energy report. Now, if you don't have it, it's been 5 business days, then email me. Okay, email me and give me your information and your full name, because a lot of times I'm hesitant to complete it in full because I need to verify your name, because sometimes I might have one name. I can't do it if it's just one name or if it's 2 names. So sometimes it don't capture your whole name. So I have to verify, verify your name so it can be accurate, because it's literally based on your name. So I have to make sure that it's accurate for me. I'm not gonna do something that's not accurate, So that's pretty much it. You from Charlotte, from family Williamson. Okay, Williamson. You talking about like I know Williamson area. I'm familiar with that area. I went to school out in Elizabeth City. I went to Elizabeth City State, HBCU. Shout out to ECSU. My sign, I'm a Virgo. But as far, I got strong SAG energy though. My midhaven is in SAG, so I know I give off SAG energy in my position, my career, and what people know me for. So I know I give that energy off a lot. But I learned a lot from that SAG energy. I really have a lot of aspects to it. Okay, I appreciate you, Chillmatic 144, for sharing, that you got your energy report and how much truth is contained. If you want to dig deeper into that, shoot me an email. We can set up a one-on-one. We can get more into it if we haven't already. Because I know quite a few people want to do a one-on-one after the energy report because they just want to dig deeper, want more insight. And that's pretty much how we will do. And then, we just kind of go from there. Peace, peace. Let me see, Hybrid Mama. There you go. But peace, Draquan. How you doing? Stuff. I appreciate you. G. Starflower. I have a lot of family in Baltimore, Maryland. I haven't been there in years, but I have a lot of family there, like a lot of family. So yeah. Wait 7. Okay, you got your energy report too. So like I said, if anybody's here and you didn't get it, please reach out to me. I don't want to withhold that from you because it's very powerful. It can really help you a lot. A lot of people getting a lot of help from it. So if you haven't gotten yours, just reach out to me and let me know. Somebody locked the door. They did. Tell Maya. It's green. So yeah, I wanted to just kind of touch bases with y'all. I ain't gonna really build too much. I'm gonna go live on YouTube later tonight. So I'm gonna share my YouTube because I never go live on there. So I'm gonna go live on YouTube and I'm gonna I'll share that with y'all if you're not able to join. But the YouTube link is in my bio and you can subscribe to the channel. So that's pretty much how I'm gonna do that. I'm thinking about going live on YouTube. We might be, man. We might be family. My family up there is Grahams, the Grahams. But I know it's a lot of, they done got married a lot because they've been there now for a few decades. And they used to come down by the busload. Like, it's a lot. I got a lot of family there. I used to go a lot when I was younger, but I haven't been in well over like 15 years. I haven't been since I was a teenager, and I'm 35, so it's been a minute. It's been a minute. I appreciate everybody that comes stopping in. I appreciate you. Great John Music. What's up? Peace. Refreshing to hear a sister speak the way you do. Oh, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's kind of what's I say, challenging, because it's not a lot of women who talk a lot about this, especially when it's like real deep occult. So, and it is a little challenging sometimes. Thank you. 35 looks, I appreciate it. Hotep Christopher, how you doing? So what we building on, y'all? This is just a free session. I ain't really come with nothing prepared to really kind of build on it or what have you. I am interested in some of the topics y'all would like me to dive deeper into. So if you all have some suggestions on what type of things y'all would be interested in me going deeper into, I'm knowing more on the chakras. In some aspects, we're going to get very deep on some things, explore some spiritual practices and things like that. So it's a lot, Johnson and Hopkins, mostly who I know out of my family. I don't know if it's any Johnson or Hopkins, but you know what? You never know. And even aside from that, man, we could be soul family. A lot of us are soul family. We connected prior to this life. What's the role of the Queen of England? Oh, bro, we don't want to talk about the Queen of England. We don't want. That's just like, just always. That's just symbolic to us as that's just colonialism. We can't celebrate colonialism and oppression. It just is what it is. Ray J got me messed up right now, Kardashian. Hey man, but you know what? We've always known this about the Kardashians, and it's so wild at Ray J, bro. Like, I really feel like, have y'all ever seen that Vince Staples snip where he talks about Ray J and the impact of how Ray J's been connected to so many people? To me, this just furthers it, because think about the impact the Kardashians have had. A lot of it was rooted and built off of that sex tape between him and Kim. Like, no cap. So when you look at it to know, we've always subconsciously known that the mom was in on it. We've always known that. She's such an opportunist, yo. I wonder what her sign is. I wonder what her energy is. I wonder what that is, because they could tell me more about her personality, because it's kind of obvious, man. It's really kind of obvious. But I'm glad he exposing them. I do not support them Kardashians, so I'm glad he exposing them. That's my only thing with Kanye. It's like, bro, I love Kanye. He say a lot of stuff. That needs to be said that a lot of people would be afraid to say. But you still married into that family, bro. Like, it's only but so much. Like, what did you expect was gonna happen? That Ray J situation is a play. It might be. All of this might be, because all of it is staging. All of it is role playing. I would say he definitely would have kept that for a long time. We talking 20 years. We talking about 20 years. 20 years he kept that under wraps, man. Come on now. So we really don't know how that go. We really don't know. You can't really trust it. You just got to see it for what it is. Just keep it symbolic and don't worry about it being literal. You know what I'm saying? Don't worry about it in a literal sense. You know what I'm saying? I almost look at it like I study like the energies. So when the energy presents itself to me, do I get sisters to control their emotions? Well, our emotions teach us. So the things that we feel, or the emotions that arise in us, they come for a reason. You know what I'm saying? So when you're dealing with anger, you're feeling powerless. And a lot of things that what we have to understand about women is, naturally our feminine energy is suppressed. Naturally, everything within society, feminine wise, is suppressed.
So that's a big part of us. Is anybody watching She-Hulk? It's funny what she said to him, what she said to Bruce, you know, because they're cousins. And he's like, you got to know how to control and everything. She already knew it, how to do everything that it took him a long time to do, because naturally as women, we're already suppressed. We're already that energy. And it's not just because of women in a sense. It's not just women. Hold on, y'all. I'm going to step out camera for a minute, but y'all still hear me. It's not just about women per se. It's deeper than that. It's about the whole feminine goddess energy, because we all have masculine and feminine. But when you tap into that feminine goddess, that kundalini energy in you, that energy that's suppressed, why they need you to stay far, far away from everything that will activate that, is because it will transform everything. It'll change everything. So it's deeper than it just being about the woman per se. We're talking about feminine energy in general being suppressed down. That women have a specific role. Well, I mean, we are the physical. Women is the physical embodiment of the feminine energy. So to see a woman physically is to see feminine energy embodied naturally. That's why naturally women bear the children. Okay, that's why, you know, we have the womb, the portals, a representation of what it is. You know, so even when you see a man, naturally, men are supposed to be protective, strong. You know, that's why they're built the way they're built. It's all about an energy thing. But we know the law of gender, everything has both genders. That's just the way it is. Even if we were to look at science, even if we was to look at physiology, we was to look at the body, right? You have certain things, certain mechanics in your body that function off of ions. Some are positively charged, some are negatively charged, but you need them both. You need them both. So the woman and the man is symbolic to that. The yin and the yang. It's like the energy in its grossest form. It's this energy broken down in its most grossest form. Gross meaning the slowest energy frequency, the physical. So in the physical, that's how I see it. Why do people go against their nature? Well, I don't know if people are necessarily really going against their nature, because it's an energetic thing. And the paths that we have to walk, the lessons that we have to learn, manifest in different lessons depending on when we're born, the state and time, the what's happening. All of these things play a role into why we are here, when we are here, and what we are here to do, and what we are here to experience. So I wouldn't say it's I mean, it is, but it isn't. See, it's all in how spiritual you really want to go with it, because the higher up you go, you know, it's you look at it differently. You know, you look at it with a different sense of understanding, because you know, it's some things that you can't unknow. So when you know certain things, you can't unknow it because it's uncomfortable. Let me put it that way. Because it's uncomfortable. And I think a lot of things about homosexuality and a lot of that in our society makes everybody uncomfortable, because we're going through some type of it's a transformational shift, just dealing with the vibration of humanity. So I think everything is everything, man. Everything really serves a purpose in what it's for, you know. So, but you know, a lot of it is games, a lot of it is tricks, because a lot of it is imposed imbalance on us. So a lot of us, this imbalance is imposed on us because society is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So it's whether it's in the food, whether it's in the education, whether it's on TV, like wherever it is, it's about an imbalance on you. So whether it's going to affect you sexually, where it comes to sex, where it comes to religion, like it's all about creating splits and imbalances in you, because it makes you easier of a food source, easier of an energy source. So that's why when people deal with knowledge of self, or self-awareness or spiritual awareness, because you want self-mastery over self, because these things can pull your strings. You don't want to be a puppet. You don't want to be a puppet to the times, to the events, because then you are able to be controlled. Remember, we're about self-governing. So how we going to be governed if we able to be controlled because this happened or that happened, or they showed us this and they showed us that? And a lot of this we can't even know if it's really true or not. It's just what's being shown to us. So everything they're projecting to us, you know, to get us to respond, to get us to react certain ways. At least that's how I see it. But you know, that's just me. You know, make men suppress their feminine energy because you can't do that holy union. That's Christ. Like when to arise, to have that holy union, to master the feminine, and you know, especially men, to tap into that, like that's too powerful. It's too powerful. You'll break the matrix. That's Neo. And even with us women, they get us out of our feminine. See, they think that they trick us into thinking our feminine is about, you know, us being sexual, us twerking. That's not just our feminine. We still, it's so many women, so many more women that I know that's unable to slow down and stop and be still. That's your feminine energy. Can you be still? Are you able to receive? So a lot of us can't even receive because we imbalance and we forced into a sense of survival. So the masculine come out. It's all by design. It's all by design, man. It's all by design. But see, like I say, it's a trick. So it's like, you know, have the beauty image, have the feminine image externally, but what about inside? What about internally? How well can you breathe? Can you slow down? Are you grounded? Are you connected with the earth? Do you feel secure? Do you feel safe? Those are things, you know. So, you know, yep, meditation is medication. Absolutely. So, you know, it's deep because you deal with that Kundalini. You know, you on a different frequency, you on a different wave. You're dealing with a different type of energy. You know, you can invoke change in the system. You can change not only, you know, you change things around you. So, you know, how should a man deal with a woman who challenges his masculinity? You got to find some common ground because you have to find common ground. Maybe find a mediator, somebody that y'all can talk to together, that doesn't have to take anybody's side, that can just kind of help to guide y'all. Of course, you know, it's professionals for it. You know what I mean? That's one of the main things that why me and O got into being like metaphysical ministers, because we wanted to deal with unions. You know, we really want to deal with people and their relationships. You know, people who want to be married. So because it's a powerful sense of expression, and like the bonding of it physically can really accelerate. It can be a catalyst for spiritual awakening. That's really the truth and why they want to split us up. Why they want us at odds with each other. Because true love and union between a man and a woman is a catalyst. It's a catalyst. Like you gonna rise that much more. That's why the Kundalini snakes come together and kiss at the heart. It's a representation of love. Society treat us to go again. That's what I'm saying. And a lot, like I say, a lot of it, some of it is in the food too. You know, it's food, chemicals, hormones. Like it's imposed on us in so many ways. In so many ways. But you know, we have to be careful for the tricks. Men need emotional presence and healing to unlock feminine power. I definitely agree with you. Men, you know, whether that's a safe space to be able to express that. It's not a lot of safe spaces for y'all, especially not black men, because you know y'all have to. Unfortunately, that brute image is what's placed on y'all, and even unfortunately, a lot of us as black women tend to go, you know, create a lot of that tension and friction. But it's just so much in it because of, you know, generations of trauma. It's just generations of trauma. but a lot of compassion is needed. I keep hearing that word Kundalini. How do you explore that more? You can look into Kundalini. It's becoming more of a mainstream word, you know, or mainstream practice. You look into Kundalini yoga. It's discussing on. It really comes. You can look into when we talk about Indian or Hindu mythology or their systems. It's Shiva and Shakti. It's all different means of how to interpret that, but the Kundalini is basically it's like a goddess energy that sits at the root of the spine, so it rises up. It's like climbs your Jacob's ladder. It has to do with your chakra system. So it's like that goddess energy of chaos, destruction. That's what the Kundalini is. Tricking people really into the nature. Yeah, of course. Of course, even outside of just sexual energy, it's all types of all forms of trickery to go against your nature. It's so many different forms. What's my perspective on polygamy? I'm not against polygamy. I just think I think people that explore it really have to be honest and have an honest conversation of where they are coming from and what their goals are with it. There's a time that polygamy definitely served its purpose, you know, it's a means of building, but I think certain communal things have to be in place that's not really in place a lot of times, which is why I think a lot of these polygamous relationships and what have you don't seem to work out. You know, I feel like whoever or however many, whoever's involved in the relationship, you have to be in a common understanding, placing term values on what you're standing on. And a lot of times, regardless of how many people in it, whether it's 2 or 3, you know, however many, they don't really happen in relationships a lot, period. Because a lot of times people are still shielding, hiding themselves from themselves, you know. So in a sense, they do the same thing in relationships. And a lot of times these other parties just be other avenues of doing it. Oh, it's broken. You have to see if Daddy can fix it. Go see if he can fix it. Cause no more can. I can't fix it. Go see if Daddy can fix it. He might can. You be so hard on the little cars, man. Yes, I recommend for a lot of people to journal, especially people that have like certain energetic things, like people with a 3 in their life path, like journaling, because we can feel so much emotionally, and men are taught to press it down. And so, but eventually, always understand that energy, it always has to come out. It's going to come out. But when it eventually comes out, it's like it's something that's just, it's like the villain of the story when it comes out. However you see the villain in the story, they all ugly and messed up and all this because they went through something horrible, not nurtured. So that those parts of you that's not nurtured, it becomes this ugly thing that you're afraid of or that you don't know how to deal with, or you know. So it's finding the means of emotional expression is very healthy in terms of, you know, balancing it. Peace, Lady Trey from Canada. Is Lucifer the light and was righteous? Oh, why are you trying to trick me with this question? Why are you trying to trick me? Lucifer is the light in the darkness. Lucifer is like the third eye. So when you open your third eye, it's like it's light. You know, when we talk about eyesight, we look at the science how your eyes work, it's light entering your eyes. So if you were to open your third eye, right? So that would mean if an eye open, even if we're talking metaphysically speaking, that would mean light would be entering. So that light is what Lucifer represents. You know, Lucifer just represents rebellion. You know, it's the spark, what makes you question what is. You know, so I learned a lot. I learned a lot when I studied Lucifer. I learned so much, you know, and sometimes I find that a hard thing to, you know, discuss how I want to deliver that to the people, because that's not something that most people can digest. You feel me? They, you know, because we so programmed through Christianity that it's hard to reach people through there. Most people don't want to pierce through that veil. And it's not something I want to impose on people either, because I know there's a lot of means. I have a lot of sources and things that can really be helpful to people. So I try not to alienate people. but Lucifer is the light bearer. You know, we even the morning star. So even if we go to Revelations, we find Jesus calling himself the morning star. So actually, when you get into studying the Kabbalah and you really dig deep into it, you realize Jesus and Lucifer is really the same thing, because Jesus is just the Christ energy, and the Christ energy, when it rises, it's the same thing as what Lucifer represents. But like I say, it's not something that everybody can digest, you know, and it kind of alienates, you know. So, but I learned a significant, everything I learned about shadow work, about dealing with the darkness, all of it came out of digging into that, into the real occult. Because like when you actually really get into it, it's not what it's perceived to be. And I try to tell people this a lot. That's why I did the introduction to the occult. It literally is a complete historic run to why we perceive and know the occult the way we know it now. The way is exact, it's specific to the way we know it now. So the reason why we think of it the way we do, you know, the reason why, you know, certain things, because, you know, because of what it houses, it's because of what was placed under that umbrella of the occult to steer the public away from it. You know, it's the same as how they would, any woman that spoke up too much was pretty much burned at the stake. Like the whole witchcraft thing, it was just another means of controlling feminine energy, a means of controlling self-healing, a means of controlling the, you know, because that's what the true rebellious energy is, that will destroy everything. Is feminine, is dark. If you look, most of the time, the most, you know, the harshest villain or whatever, a lot of times in the story, it come out to be being a woman. Like if we look at Thor, who bought Ragnarok, it was the sister, it was the dark feminine energy. Like we look at the Lilith, like that's like, these are just a means of describing the energy. But we also have to understand that this like the way that we see it is coming from the way the world is run and what we were conquered with. So I'm always kind of saying that, you know what I mean, because I know a lot of people don't really know where that's coming from. So I try not to come off in a brash way about it, you know, but it's a lot of things that it takes time for people to get introduced to. You know, it takes time. You know, it takes a need of a sense of bravery. It takes courage, because you are daring to go into the darkness. You are daring to pierce into what is forbidden. You know, so it's not for everybody. And it's something that people have to understand about different things in the spiritual path. Like everything isn't for everybody. You know, so we have to remember that in ourselves. Like we don't know what somebody else's path is. You know, we don't always know that. So, you know, that's just how that's me. That's how I maintain my peace. That's how I maintain my peace, you know. So my bad. I gotta do a lot of scrolling because I don't be looking at what pops up. But so yeah, that so you know, everything is flipped. So when you really get that everything is really flipped, it's really all about where a person want to go. So that's why I take my approach that I take it, because I know everything isn't for everybody, you know. But I'm honestly, after what is it, 13 years of really studying a lot of these, you know, because I honestly was seeking, you know, I honestly was really looking. So after all these years, I feel like, you know, and looking at and spiritually, you know, spiritually being pushed in the direction of, yo, you have to share. You're supposed to share. You know, you have to share this. You know, you're supposed to be assisting. So I had to get with the program that I was here for. I had to get on my mission. You know, regardless of how uncomfortable it makes me, regardless of how much I want to be like, I just want to get out the way, just go do my own thing. Like I still have a means of what I know that I do have to do for me. So like I say, everything ain't for everybody. And a lot of what I have to do here, what I have to give, that's not gonna be for everybody. So, you know, but I'm okay with it. I'm good with it. Bree gone. Bree left. What is it? Okay. To who? Okay. Well, when I'm finished, my bad, y'all. So I'll just be, you know, but I'm mostly here to go live to, you know, I gotta try and get rid of the little false and you know, trying to establish myself as me, as what I do, as who I am. So, you know, but aside from that, anybody wanna, y'all got any other questions? Yeah, everybody not built for the truth. That's true. You know, everybody can't be unplugged, man. It's a choice to take that pill too. It's a choice to take that pill. So you can't force it on people. So if it's for them, it's for them. You know, you've been studying Beverly Tyler Harper. You've been studying this a lot. Okay, okay, that's what's up. How important is self-awareness and inquiry in your work? Very important. Very important. You're not. It's very important. Very important. I'm very important. Um, Peace. How you doing your best? What you believe is the difference between prayer and meditation? I believe. I really don't like to say I believe, but you said what you believe. So my answer like that. I believe that meditation. I think it's like two opposing currents. Like I feel like praying is you going out. You know, it's like you sending out a signal. It's like you're sending out a signal. Now, for different people, I think people in dogma, when they send it out, they literally are looking out for a, entity to assist them because they can't do it alone. Now, I think people who are more esoterically based, I think their form of praying, or at least maybe in my sense, is the affirmations, the mind rewiring, because the signal out is within the self, right? Because when you're praying, even if you say a prayer within your own self, it's your voice, it's you. So in that sense, it's a way of, and sometimes there are certain words and things that people use that we look at from different cultures, that it's a means of like activating energy. Like, how Shazam, right? He got to say Shazam, and he turned into Shazam. So it's like when we say Amen, it's like we're sealing a hidden energy, because that's what Amen Ra is, a representation of the hidden energy. So the processes I believe that we take, in doing affirmations and things like that is a sense of prayer. Now, meditating is the reception. It's like what you receive as your message back. So when you send it out, what's the message that you get back? What is it that you receive? So that's why I think too, a lot of people who are coming out of being esoterically or religiously based and praying out that way, find it so hard to meditate, because it's coming from within you. So you have to stop and you have to be still and be in a place where you can receive. And reception, I think that's just spiritual language. I think that's just messages. I think that's just what we are able to what we are able to like stop and see. Like what we can, when we slow ourselves down, right? And we pay closer attention, we see the smaller things that we wouldn't typically see, right? So I believe that all of these things are your messages, because when you open up your beliefs, then you open up your mind to receive more. So I'm not just restricted to, if I'm a Muslim, just what the Quran or what is for me through being Muslim. If I'm open, then I'm open to receive from numerology, from a tarot reading, from seeing a sign. So I'm just opening myself up to receive more, you know. If that answer your question, I don't know. I kind of went on for a little bit. So, I feel like, like I say, my prayer is inner because I'm trying to connect. You know, I'm trying to connect with that source within me. Now, I may utilize my tools outside myself to help me to connect with it, you know. But, any suggestion on how to embrace your shadow self? I feel like a lot of self-love, a lot of forgiveness, a lot of compassion. Like, you got to go on the soft side. That's why it's all about love. Like, because you have to just love yourself enough that you just really, truly just embracing everything about yourself. Because I think we guilt and shame ourselves so bad that we hold ourselves back. So whatever you guilty or you're ashamed about, you embrace it, you step into it. So that way that you can help it heal. So if a person has an addiction to porn, right, and they're ready to face that, that's rooted in something. That's rooted in a pattern. That's rooted in a trigger. So the shadow is whatever triggers that, whatever brought about that addiction. But it might be rooted in some event, something that might have happened. So when that person is ready to embrace that and no longer be ashamed about it, so it might take the light of knowing where that comes from. So the light is what you know. So what you're able to see. So if they can realize, man, I have a problem, that's a piece of light, right? And then they say, okay, so when did I start doing this? And then I was like, okay, I remember when I was 12, the babysitter, such and such. That's more light, because now you're getting more, you're getting more information. You're able to see more about where this habit is coming from, where this trigger is rooted in. So being able to say to yourself, going back to the moment or back to the time, embracing that 12-year-old version of yourself, that telling them that it's okay. It's, because so many things, so many emotional things happen at those ages. We can't process it. We don't know. And sadly, a lot of times our caregivers let us down. And, so when we confront, and a lot of this may come and you may just have to be aware of it through another means. So for a lot of people this day and age, it come through parenthood, because certain stuff happen with your children, and it brings out certain things in you. So that's a lot of what the work embracing the shadow is. Like, you have to really face the parts of you. And then even then, when we say the deep dark parts, it's like, I used to want to kill my stepfather or something like that. I hate to say something like that on the live or whatever, but how that came out. But there's something deep, dark, and that we can find, like, oh man, like, we don't know how to process that we can feel something like that because we know it's wrong. So you have to go to a place of understanding for yourself. It's like you have to grow up for yourself and embrace this part of you that is hurting, because it feels that way because it's hurting from something. There's some wound that's afflicting it. So you have to just embrace it so you can bring it in. You feel what I'm saying? And then so once you do that, when you do the work, you work with your shadow becomes your best friend. So when situations happen that threaten your survival, best believe your shadow is going to come out. But at least now when it comes out, you are the one driving the shadow. So if your shadow gets super into a super hustler mode, you can't let that overcome you all the way to the point where you sell things of value that you ain't supposed to sell. You feel what I'm saying? So it's about a sense of control. It's about a sense of understanding yourself. You get what I'm saying? Because all your trauma and all your pain is what's molded that shadow. And so that shadow, just remember, hurt people. So if you can apply that same thing to your shadow, then you can kind of and take yourself to a higher level. That's why it's really all about love. Now, it's representative and reflective in our partner. When we find somebody that we truly love and we know we'll love them through anything, you supposed to love yourself like that. So you embrace your shadow. So you're not ashamed of your shadow. You're not, all that guilt, because all of it is carried somewhere. So all the guilt and shame that you have geared towards the parts of yourself that you were ashamed of when you went through something in your life and you did something you're not proud of, all of that you still carrying, it's just still in your body. It's still holding up all that energy within you, all of that force. So you heal and you allow that to push you, because we go through things. We get depressed. We get down. We don't know why we feeling down. We don't know why we not happy. We don't know why we can't experience joy. We don't know why we needing to numb ourselves. We don't know why we ghosting people. We don't know why we abandon. We don't know. We don't understand why we doing these things, or why we feeling exhausted, why we tired all the time, why we can't do this, or why it feels like we're not progressing, why it feels like we stuck, or we experiencing the same things over and over. Is because this energy is just still circulating, and you gotta heal it. You feel me? You gotta heal it because it's pretty much coloring your life. So you just keep experiencing it over and over because you holding it in your body. So you have to, you have to move forward. So a lot of people can take what's dark and just push it into an extreme. It's like, okay, it's like, it's all symbology. That's what the devil entails. Your complete potential of material enslavement. That's really what it represents, okay? Because it's a title. So it's the part of you, or it's the version of you that'll do whatever you need to do to accumulate power, to accumulate material wealth, right? So that energy represents your lower self. That energy represents your lower self. That energy represents being completely about self. That's why it's the ground. That's why it's hell. That's why you deal with Capricorn. That's why the Capricorn is connected to the death card. I mean, not the death card, the devil card in the tarot. That's why the devil card in the tarot can represent out. That's why they'll say stuff like alcoholism or addiction, doing anything for material, because it's a representation of the darkest energy or the darkest form of yourself without light. So now, just in the same aspect, a person can be too stuck on the other side, because light can be just as blinding as darkness. So when somebody too light, when they stuck too high, when they doing everything for everybody else or for what's good for everybody else, and they do nothing for themselves, they don't take care of themselves at all. They sacrifice all of their needs. They have no power to stand up for themselves. They could be stuck in the light. So we got to have balance. You got to have balance. That's why you got to do the shadow work, because you need both sides. You just can't let the shadow rule. But at the same time, you can't be you can't be oblivious to the shadow, because that's how eventually it's going to come to a head. Eventually it's going to come out and you're not going to be able to control it. It's going to destroy everything you ever created on some Will Smith type shit. That's what that is. If you completely always deal with the light and you never deal with the dark, eventually it's going to come out. It's going to destroy everything, because you have to confront it. You must confront it. It's the journey. It's the journey of the soul. Would you consider yourself to be a witch? Witch, by definition, is one who works with nature, one who understands nature. So naturally, doing things according to nature is witchcraft. So anytime we do things with herbs, technically medicine came out of witchcraft, because they literally make medicines out of the plants, out of the herbs. So when one understands quote unquote witchcraft, you're able to heal yourself, you're able to lead yourself, you're able to guide yourself. But remember, mind you, when this came about, when they started talking about witches heavy, when they started to do the witch hunt, right? Or the the witch trials, Salem witch trials, and all of that. The mid like that period of time, we're looking at the color lens of history. We're looking at a heavy Christian period. So of course, the Christian church is taking control of everything. Go tell Maya to turn to it for you. Yeah, tell Maya to turn to it for you. So it's just not needing nothing to go to tell you what you need to do to be connected to source. What? Why? Maya. Daddy got it. Daddy gonna do it. Go ahead. So, I don't really like those labels or those terms, but so, and if you're dealing in the feminine energy, understanding the moon, that type of thing, then that falls under witchcraft. See, that's what I'm saying. All of those terms, all those labels and stuff like that is just, it kind of discredits, it kind of leads to a certain idea that's formulated. When people say they're spiritual, people automatically think of being spiritual a certain type of way. When people say little things, it brings on this idealized version of what it is. So it's kind of hard to say. I wouldn't say that I am. I wouldn't call myself that. I wish you told me real life situations. Sharing is a big thing. Well, Michael, if you want to talk about a real life situation, just book a session with me. And that's what we do. We talk about real life situations. Yeah, it does happen there. But like I said, everything ain't gonna be for everybody. It's different stages, it's different parts to the journey. So, everybody gotta walk their path. And if you hopping on, if you do follow, beware of the scammy pages. I have no backup pages. Just to reiterate it again. I have no backup pages. I do not DM for readers. But if you would like to book time with me, you can go to the link in my bio. So everything in my bio that I do, And if you still got a question, then you can just hit the little chat link there, and I will respond as quickly as I can. It's usually in a pretty timely manner. It's pretty much in a timely manner, So, are you a witch? Well, I mean, no. So I wouldn't call myself that. Some people would say that. Maybe some people would feel like I am. I don't know, bro. But I don't really, like I said, I don't like labels. That's kind of the thing with me, though. I don't really like labels. Because I don't really, by the time when something's labeled and has like a system structure, like people expect you to abide by what that entails and what that entails only. And I'm not that type of person. So I don't really like to subscribe to any label or anything like that. I try not to. I may identify, sometimes or, correlate or align with different realms of thoughts, but I try not to align myself with, So yeah, okay, I got you. Because I'm the type of person I study things, if it's of interest, well, especially when society is like, well, this is this. If everybody's going right, I'm going to go left. So I'm going to go see what the big deal is. Now, I'll come back and tell y'all what the deal is. It's up on you to want to experience it or not. But I'm going to go find out for myself. I need to know for myself. Now, I don't know how much now. That's gotten me into some trouble. But that's how I am. So, that's how I am. I do have that strong Sagittarius type of energy sometimes. So that's why I say we not always our sun sign, man. We so much more than that. So we can't deduce astrology down to just horoscope readings and like nah, they really use that to really, it's really profound when you really get into it. It's really very helpful when you get into it. So when I really started to really get heavy into astrology, the reason why I share a lot about astrology is because I learned a lot of things over the years. And when I learned astrology and like numerology, it really actually helped me improve myself. Like everything serves its purpose, like when you're learning history, it's gonna help certain things about you, because the history for me, gave me a sense of pride in myself, knowing, we're more than just this. This is our lives. This is this, you know. So it's just different things, just different levels. So, but when I got towards astrology, like that more so helped me in terms of, dang, why I'm having this bad relationship XYZ, why I'm struggling with this right here, like things directly dealing with me, my personality, my what I felt like was my shortcomings. What does 222 mean? It's a call for balance, or it might be dealing with cooperation. Maybe you might meet a partner. You might meet somebody that's going to help you, somebody that's beneficial, or you may already be involved with somebody in a relationship or, some sort, and you need cooperation. You have to balance. Maybe you need to be more diplomatic. Maybe you need to put up boundaries. Maybe you don't have no boundaries. Maybe you're being overwhelmed. Maybe you got to relax and pull back and, say no sometimes and don't always put other people over you. So depending on what's happening in your life is going to determine how that too interprets for you. That's why it's important that people know for themselves. In my opinion, that's why I'm big on showing people how to know for themselves. Because when you see it, so you can know for you. So that's my approach. I have to be that way. That's what I have to give. So I have to teach you in a way so you can know for you. So that's why I have to do this way, man. So I know sometimes people, don't like the way I do it, but that's why I gotta do it like that. And it's gradual steps in some ways. It's gradual steps. What does it mean to still hear someone even if they aren't around? They're still on your mind. They're still in your energy. They still attached to you. You still connected to them. That they may reappear. You may see them back. If it's somebody that's passed away, then it's somebody that's still with you. It's somebody that's trying to get a message to you, maybe, or trying to. A lot of times, a lot of energies like that be like resolution, trying to resolve something. People be feeling guilty, or something about when we lose our loved ones, and I think a lot of that is rooted in us having the lack of spiritual knowledge around death and not understanding the power of death and what death really means. But it's because we so westernized in our belief. We got that hell, heaven, fear thing. So we totally look at death way different than our ancient ancestors. So, but I don't know. So, but like I said, this is somebody that's not around like physically anymore. But if it's just somebody you've broken ties with, you probably haven't already broken all those ties. It's probably still a psychic connection there. I don't want the connection. Do I take a bath? You can take a bath. You need to do you need to sever that psychic tie. You have to sever that connection. So you can do a spiritual bath. You can do a sea bath if you can get to the ocean. The ocean, the salt water, the salinity of it is the best means of cleansing. When we talk about the sea, we talk about the ocean. But you can do it psychically. You can do it ritually, as in you can this person, you can write their name. You can put it under running water. You can state your affirmation. You calling back your energy, your power. You could burn it. Whichever is a means of, depending on the connection. We would have to dig deeper into it to kind of, personally to, but what it represents for you. Everything that you really do magic wise is yours. It's what comes from out of you. It's what you feel is necessary. So, however, you need to spiritually or symbolically sever that connection so it translates in here. You know, that's how you deal with it. That's how you do that. And there's, you know, other ways you can do that. You know, it's, but because, well, I mean, I feel like I have to get the options because I want people to understand that the real power comes from you and what you put in it. You know, like I can get suggestions all day, but all this is really coming from out of you. That's what all this stuff has really shown me and taught me. So the options are yours. Whatever touch you put on it is what make it yours. You know, that's what makes it yours. That's what puts the power in it. That's why when you, these little books and stuff, these little magic books, these little spells, you know, that's why it's not a lot of power in them, because the power comes from what you put in it. That's your spirituality. So it's like when you sitting there, you making you making spaghetti, and something just tell you put a little such and such on it, and you do, and it's good. That's what I mean. That's your magic. That's symbolic to what your magic is. You know, when you can sense that in yourself, something that comes from out of you. That's the power. That's the real power. So when we study the occult, when we study the knowledge of self, we get empowered because we keep going through the data that's telling us that the power is in you, the power is in you, the power is in you, the power is in you. So when you invoke that power, you manifest. That's why it's empowering. That's why the Lucifer and all of that type of stuff is bad, because it's going to empower you to invoke your will. You understand? You don't have to just move off of fate, off of what you feel pulled to do by what's governing you. No, you enforce your own through your own empower, through your own what you know to be true. Because all magic is making internal and external changes. That's it. So if you change, quote unquote, your fate, that's magic. It's not spooky. It's none of this, you know, it's none of that. It's none of that. It's none of that. That's not what it is. Now, some people have built a very strong sense of power off of people believing that's what it is. But that's why I keep telling people that the so-called elite ain't nothing but it was their eyes. It's illusion. It's not real. You have the power, but we give it away because we think that we have to seek these other things to validate it for us. But no, the power been in you the whole time, Dorothy. All you had to do was click your heels 3 times, girl, and you would have been home. But you didn't know that though. So that's all we going through learning. Your experience and everything is just reinforcing what you believe. That's why it's important for people to change their beliefs. Because when you believe in things that limit you, you're going to keep living that experience. So you have to change your beliefs. You change that by what you know. So when you know it to be true, when you know that I am is God, that changes what you believe. Okay, so now I believe that I can manifest the life that I want, because I know that I am is God. So if I know that, right? So now I believe, because my only sense of belief is I'm just lying to my vision. You feel me? I'm trying to create what's not there physically yet. That's how you use belief in your event, in a magical sense. In a magical sense. But that's why you have to know first, because you understand how to use the power of belief. So they know what's what. That's why how they use the power of belief over the people. That's why they control what you believe. It's about controlling what you believe. If you control what you believe, you're gonna create the reality already for yourself. And you're gonna make it so. The power's in the people. They've been telling us this for a long time. The power's in the people. But see, it's just all in the presentation of it, man. There are outside forces that do attack. You can be feeling outside forces. They manifest in many different ways. That's your generational curses. That's you having to break traditional patterns, things that's been embedded in you long before you had a choice. That's the predictive programming. It is outside forces, because depending on how you want to see it. So with us living in this false reality, with us living in this lower creation, there is a sense of what feeds off of this creation. So there are outside forces, but it's, the power's in you. You have the power to choose. You have the power to choose. You have to, in learning to master yourself, and learning to, because when things go on, events, it's triggers. So as you do the shadow work, the more that you do, you become more aware of what triggers you. And when I say trigger, it's what brings out certain parts of you that you are not as able to control. The parts of you that, you haven't done as much work on. So as you do that shadow work, you gain more control over that. So you're able to recognize triggers. It's just different when you have a light on it. You know that it's there. So it's not going to trip you up as much anymore. Now, we can always fall into old patterns. It happens a lot of times. It's like falling off a wagon. That's why I tell people the 12 steps that they teach, like addicts and stuff. That's something that everybody should apply to their life in every sense, shape, or form. Because every day you just taking a step. Every day is a means of you dealing with that inner war. You dealing with or maintaining that inner balance. It's a constant and steady walk and journey. We chaos warriors. We steadily housing this chaotic energy within us. So we are just learning to wield it day by day, bit by bit, because as much as it brings out that negative in us, it also brings out that magic in us. It's also what makes up what we are. So yeah, we the chaos warriors, man. We chaos. Okay, Abdullah, hit me up for the session. Go to the link, and I got quite a bit of openings for this next week. I opened my hours up a little bit. I had to make them a little later in the day, but I did open my hours up a little bit. Kids back in school, so y'all, we homeschool, so it's a lot. We got a lot of kids. So it gets trying sometimes. But and some people, I would say, looking to study there's different means of meditation that assist with dealing with the outside pulls and urges, because some would say that there are interdimensional entities that feed off of us when we are in these negative states. So different meditative techniques is really helpful for that. Anybody that want a session, just go to the link, hit the link, and I'm open a lot this week. I'm open a lot. So, and after you purchase the session, the booking calendar comes up, and you just select the best date or time, the best date and time. If you have any issues with the booking, then just contact me. Just click on the little web chat icon and contact me, and I'll reply back to you. Usually right away, as long as I'm like readily available. I reply back right away via the website. DM, it's a little harder. Email, I'll get back to you. It just may take a little longer. Oh, no problem. Priest of Dogs, no problem. If anybody do want to get to vacation, let me put it up here. I never put this up here. I always forget. But that's the catch tag. But yeah, so like I said, I'm trying to do more of the lies. I'm trying to be consistent with the lies. I need y'all to know I'm a real person. And yeah, there are scammers out there impersonating me. So I just want y'all to know that, so don't fall for the scammers. I'm not going to DM you. That's not me following you. That's somebody just realizing that a lot of my content is viral, and they're just capitalizing off the fact that a lot of people seeking spiritual guidance or spiritual insight is going to follow, so that's all they're doing. But their time is coming. I got to be patient in dealing with that situation. But it's the cost of it. It comes with the territory. You know what I'm saying? It comes with the territory. And I'm well aware, I knew that some of these types of issues was going to arise. So, but it's all good. It's just further letting me know that I'm rocking the boat, that I'm rocking the system. Maybe Instagram sending them, we don't know. They could be. They could be. We don't know. They could be just purposely trying to discredit, trying to dispel. There's that word, look, dispel, because I'm, all that being said, You know, that's all they're trying to do. It's an old tactic. It's an old tactic to want to discredit people when they come with the truth. So we well aware of that. We well aware of that now. So, nah, I'm not gonna DM y'all for that. I don't have any other pages. None. This is the only page. This is the only page, only one. Anything I deal with, hit my inbox. Hit my link, and we can work. We can do something. But that's my only means of being able to interact with people. So, just to keep that out there, just to keep that out there. But I'm gonna keep bringing this knowledge. I'm gonna keep bringing this information, and I appreciate all of the inboxes, the DMs of the supporters. I definitely appreciate it. I definitely see y'all. Y'all got me to like 71,000 followers, so I appreciate y'all. Keep sharing it. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate it. Let's see. So so we just gonna do our thing. We're gonna stay dangerous. We're gonna stay dangerous to the system because we are threatening the system. So everybody who is meant for is gonna receive the message, is gonna get the message. That's what it's for. You know what I mean? And everybody that's dealing with the course, right? Or if you're in the course, let me know feedback. Let me know what y'all think. I hate that I had to restart the content and it's not all readily available. So I'm making that personal critique myself, not having it all readily available or, having to do it as I go along. Unfortunately, dealing with some technical issues. But whatever, critiques y'all have for me about the course, let me know. So I provided, in some of the courses, I provide the resources. It might be PDFs, it might be books, it might be some of the information that I might like present to you in the video presentation. So it's a lot of things there. Be sure to look around real good when y'all are in your library, dealing with the course, because it's a lot that's there. It's a lot that's there. All right, so I'm gonna only stay on for like a few more minutes. Anybody want to drop their birthday? And I'll do a quick little overview real quick from your birthday. Now, if you're in the numerology course, right? It was just updated Friday with the breaking down your numbers, knowing your numbers. So it's very intricate. It's long, it's a lot, but it's very helpful. It's it's like the chunk of what you're gonna need in the course. Y'all gave me a lot of them. I'm gonna do 11-11-83. That's the first one. Let me see. 11-11-83, 4-10. Let me see. So that's 11-11 is 4. That's 10 is 14. And what was the year? 83. So that's 11. 14. So you're 25-7, I believe. If I did that correct, I believe you're 25-7. So you deal a lot with issues around trust and openness. You're learning how to trust. Mostly you're learning how to trust yourself. You're learning how to you're learning that the kingdom is within you. So you're going through the spiritual path of lesson. You can feel yourself be pulled sometimes, still to the world in between your spiritual ways. You can deal with, balance, cooperation. You have to enforce boundaries. If you haven't learned it already, that's something you've had to learn. You can overdo for people. So naturally, sometimes it can send you into resentment. You've had to learn discipline if you haven't, because you can find yourself starting a lot of things without being able to finish because you're learning about discipline. You're learning self-discipline. You can, you always have to be careful to not overdo, to not indulge, but your most lessons about trust. So you got to learn to trust yourself. So when you know things, sometimes you don't always trust it. You second guess it, and that a lot of your lessons is in that. A lot of your lessons is in that. 2173. So that's 3 plus 10 is 13 plus another 10 is 23. So you're 23 5. So your primary lessons is in freedom and self-discipline. So you can find yourself being bounced back and forth. This is K World 50, being bounced back and forth between dependence and independence. And you hate being restricted. You hate being limited and not being able to do something. You like being able to get around like you need to, how you want to. So, but you have to learn to be disciplined enough that it provides you with the ability to be able to do what you want so that you can stay and see something through. So you're learning how to focus. You're learning how to find the right thing, for you to focus on, the right means, and you to be able to stick with something to see it all the way through. But you can be imbalanced. Sometimes you get lost in people and your partners too. So you can just be wanting to do so much with your partner, you can almost lose your identity in them sometimes. And you got to deal with expression and sensitivity. So you're super sensitive. So you pick up on people, like when the smallest little changes in things. So, but the thing is, like, you super sensitive, but you gotta know how to express. You gotta express what you feel, because sometimes you can find yourself holding back what you need to express because you feel like that other person might not be receptive of it. So you hold back, don't express your needs, and you find yourself not getting what you need, being lost in, the relationship or whatever. All right, last one, 127, 2003. This is the real, what's this? Get Money TK, 127. So that's 10 plus 5. So that's 15. So you're 156. Now, 156 is considered to be karmic debt, meaning like you're an older soul. You're dealing with, more specifically, you're dealing with a lesson from another lifetime. And like your lesson is in responsibility, it's in sensitivity, not in sensitivity, it's in acceptance and vision. You learn how to accept yourself. So you got issues with accepting yourself. You got real high standards. People don't be meeting your standards and you be disappointed. But the thing is, you have these high ideas for yourself and you can't meet them, so you end up being disheartened and not going after what you could go after because you don't feel like you meet the standards. So you got to learn how to bring it down. You got to learn how to accept the imperfections, because you're not going to be able to be perfect. You got to let go of that idea of perfection. Just strive for excellence, meaning just do your best. Just do the best that you can. See, you're learning through that. With a 5-2, you have to have balance. You have to have focus. So when you focus on something, man, you're going to really be able to do that thing. But you're dealing with confidence too, because you're a creator with that one. So you can create, but you got to have confidence. You got to have security. So insecurities can hold you back because you're different, because you got an energy that's meant to stand out in some ways. But as you learn to focus your energy, focus your creativity on something that you want, and you get disciplined about something, you're going to be able to create, and you're going to be able to birth whatever you want. But just let go of the perfection, let go of them let go of them high standards. Just let that be a means of inspiration for you. Aspire to get better every time. But don't let not being able to be the best version of what you see stop you from even going after it, because it's messing. That's what's holding you back. That's what's messing you up, and you'll just jump to something else and do something different. But you got to see it through. You just got to see it through. And your mother means a lot to you. So your mother has a strong impact, whether y'all got a good relationship or not. So you could be you're very nurturing. So when you see people and the potential in people and they can't meet to what you can see in them, it can disappoint you. But you got to let that go and learn how to accept people for who they are. But you'll be able to do that once you stop judging yourself so much and being so hard on yourself. So it'll help, as you get better with it. And don't always feel like your feelings, your emotions are weakness. Don't feel like, I should feel this way, or I shouldn't feel that way, or I'm supposed to do this. Don't do that to yourself. That's another form of perfection, trying to see yourself, trying to perfect your emotional expression. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta let that go. No problem. But I'm gonna wrap it up though, y'all, because I gotta go. But in the meantime, if y'all want to dig into your numerology like that, we can do it through a session. So you know, I may put it as a product offering so people can specifically do it. But if you want to do it in a one-on-one session, we can dive deep into your numerology, into your life path, look at your health, look at your relationships, look at your career, look at how you can balance out, how you're negative, you know, how you get in a negative sense, you know, how to be in your best light, what type of, you know, universal laws can assist you. So those type of things, you know, because some of us specifically have to get over passive aggression or not knowing how to take action. Some of us specifically gotta get over knowing how to speak our truth, standing on speaking our truth. So there are specific life or universal laws that can assist you in your spiritual understanding to help push you forward. You know, there may be certain habits or techniques that you can utilize to help you to balance out that energy. You know, that's really just what it is. You're just working with your energy. You know, you're just healing through a means of energy. You're taking healing to a holistic level. You're taking it to mean all the parts of yourself. You know, your physical, your mental, your emotional, and your spiritual. You know, but I gotta wrap it up with y'all. But it's been good. We're gonna do this again on another day, of course. In the meantime, if y'all need to reach out on the website or shoot me an email, preferably. So, you know, but that's all I got for y'all today. You know, share the live. I'm gonna post, I'm gonna save it, and I'm gonna share it.